Hi, my name is Carol Bettis, and I'm here to talk about my ideal Odyssey plan. And I've labeled this one Segue Out of Seattle. And for me, I chose this plan because I think it's the one where I either have the resources to work towards it or I'm currently working on the resources needed to fulfill this plan. It's the plan I like the most, it's the one I'm most confident about, it's the one that I think my friends are able to hold me accountable to the most. And it just sort of makes sense for where I'm at in this place in my life. So I'll go ahead and start with the year 2023. So by the end of next year, I would love to get my SHRM certification. So that is Society for Human Resources Management. And as a current human resources manager, this is a certification that has not been required in my last two jobs. However, I know it will make me more proficient in my current job, and I know it will make me a better candidate for when I choose to apply to other jobs. I do want to say that while this Odyssey plan has work at the center of sort of the focuses of the goals of each year, I also have some personal goals in here that aren't work related. I just think it's important to not have work be your whole life. And I also just want to say that I think this plan has enough flexibility to where I can change things as they come up, which is also important to me. I think definitely before this class, and then I would say probably before the pandemic, which has been like an ideal like change for me. The pandemic, I mentioned this in previous posts, really sort of just like launched my change of outlook of work and life. But I think prior to the pandemic, I had a very much like, okay, this is my goal and I have to stick to it and complete it, like no matter what, because I said I was going to. And I think since 2020, I've incorporated a lot more flexibility into my work, into my life, and so I have incorporated that into this Odyssey plan as well. So in 2023, I would love to learn how to ski. It's not something that I know how to do, but something that a lot of people in Seattle like to do. So I'd like to try it out and see how it works. I'm not looking to be the best. I'm not looking to win a competition or anything. I just want to try it out. And I also want to try to become more proficient in a language. I have been trying to learn French for a couple years, just don't think I've been consistent enough with my learning. So I would like to just dedicate more time to that in 2023. And then in 2024, I would ideally graduate with this MBA program and with degree. And I hope to then transition out of my current job and get a job in tech. Ideally, the company I would love to work with is Microsoft. I have a friend that currently works there, has no complaints. This tech company just seems to be the least problematic of the ones here in Seattle. And I think there's a lot of opportunity in Seattle to work in tech, get a lot of money, develop skills, and help corporations sort of better their practices. And so I would like to be part of that. Ideally, with this job would come a six-figure salary, which is a goal of mine. Not necessarily because I am so driven by money, but I think money can help me accomplish the goals I'd like to in my lifetime. And then with that, I'd love to get a new apartment. And then I'd like to just continue learning a language, and if skiing works out, continue that as well. In 2025, I would like to pay off my debt. I would like to vacation abroad, and I'd like to buy my parents a new car. The personal goal I'd like to work on, I'd like to try something new. I'd like to try crocheting, just see how that goes. And then for 2026, I'd like to get a promotion at hopefully the job that I get in tech. And I really like to mentor others. That's something that I'm not doing in my current job. And in doing these sort of exercises in the past weeks here of what I like to do, I like being supportive. I like solving issues. I like helping others. I think mentoring is something that I really like to focus on again. And again, this could be something I'm doing on my personal time. I give my friends advice all the time. I just think it's a little different at work where the recipient is a little bit more willing to listen and sort of grow in their work, because I think that's a little hard for people to do personally sometimes. And then in 2026, I would hopefully become fluent in the language that I'm learning. And then in 2027, I would love to work remotely and abroad through the job that I have. So that's another reason why I picked Microsoft as an ideal company that I'd like to work with. I'd like to work in a company that has sort of corporate offices in other countries, and not just like warehouses where they have like low skilled laborers and are just paying, I guess, saving money by paying people the wage of their like local area. Instead, I want to work with a company that has people who are at the forefront of their industry, who are contributing ideas to the company on a corporate level. And I think if I were to work in an environment like that, it would fulfill my need for travel, fulfill my need for exposure to other cultures and people and ideas. It would fulfill my love of learning, my curiosity. Those are some of my strengths. And I just would imagine that, again, this is me like idealizing and romanticizing Europe, but I think by living there, I would be able to go outside more and not have to rely so much on my own car and use public transit more, which is what I do here in Seattle, but it's not fulfilling the same need that I get when I travel abroad. So that is my 5-year Odyssey plan. Again, I do think this is very realistic for me. I think if you would have asked me this 5 years ago, it would have been very much something to strive for, but I don't think I would have thought it was realistic. And so I do think it's realistic, and I'm happy to start working towards it. So thanks.